and welcome to another bonus episode of Kill James Bond. I am November Kelly. I am joined, as always, by my friends Abigail, Thorne, and Devon.
Hey, listener.
I say, old boy, what's up?
It's a
Cowabunga.
1960s British movie about the 1940s. And we're poaching war season in order to continue truck season. And this was my pick, and I picked a little movie called Ice Cold in My Dead Name. And the first one of you to say it is transphobic. So we'll edit in some sirens, something of this nature. If it's me, I have no option but some kind of disgrace. You know, I've forfeited my own challenge. But
Okay,
I'm sure we can come
make
up with some kind of appropriate punishment for you.
Interesting. So this is a movie that I really wanted to do for war season, because I think it's a sort of classic of the genre of British 1960s war film. But I realized it's also a truck film. And given that we're watching Fast and Furious, for the main content, for the bonus content, we're focusing on the truckman. And this is the truckman at war. The truckman's war, if you will.
This movie was fucking great. Thank you for showing it to me. I really enjoyed it.
Anytime.
This movie fucking rocks, yeah.
I think my favorite part of doing this, because I'm vain, my favorite part of doing this podcast is getting to make my friends watch a film that I like and having them say, oh, this is a good film. It's like, yes, I get sort of good, like, fucking gremlin points, you know? It's like I'm doing a good thing.
It's like if the Wages of Fear, but the nitroglycerin was the Nazis.
Yeah, it is crazy how it's kind of the same movie. Like,
it's like if instead of a nitroglycerin, there was a beautiful lady.
Two beautiful ladies. Three beautiful ladies, and one of them is a truck.
One of them's a truck.
The truck is a woman, which is a real innovation on the Wages of Fear. Because I had seen this like long before Wages of Fear, and sort of remembered it very fondly, and sort of suggested it, hoping it would sort of stay, worthwhile. And then on watching it, I went, what I've done is I've made them watch Wages of Fear again. But I hope it's sort of worth it, because it is authentically just a very good film in its own right. The funniest thing to do after this would be Sorcerer. So you get a Wages of Fear triple bill.
Well, Abby's making us do Armageddon again next time as well.
Yeah. Armageddon brackets
too.
Chinese.
Wages of Fear will continue until morale improves, which it doesn't seem to usually.
No, it's an interesting thing as well in these genres of movies, but you have to explain the war and contextualize it to an audience, a decent proportion of whom were in it. And so what you get is a sort of like map of the Mediterranean with a voiceover saying, the shores of North Africa, peaceful now, which fumbled that one. No, we fucked up the inheritance of the Second World War in that way. And the sort of line in on this one is 2 million men, 2 million stories. This is one. It happens to be true. And I love this kind of faux humility, like rank organization bullshit, like, because it is fiction. It's 100% fiction, but like, it's just, I don't know, really, really appeals to me.
Should we contextualize the North Africa tank campaign for the listeners?
Yes, absolutely.
So, listeners, you may be aware of a thing called World War II. It happened a long time ago. North Africa, we spent a lot of time going back and forth over the same, like, several hundred square miles of desert against the Nazis. There was like over years, like literally just back and forth over the same territory. We won it, we lost it, we won it, we lost it. And it did result in an eventual British victory at the cost of hundreds of thousands of deaths. This was the campaign against Rommel, who was the kind of Nazi tank commander. And we did eventually win, but it was like a fucking nightmare.
A real slog.
Not something that's well remembered, because it's something in which American forces took sort of like much less of a part. They only sort of arrived later in the war, and notably got like their like dicks kicked in at the Battle of Kasserine Pass. The sort of like first experience of the war. In North Africa, in this sort of European theatre of operations. So it's left to British filmmakers, the British film industry, which existed back then, to make films about it.
In fact, one of the people working in the British film industry, speaking of dead names, appears to be a distant relative of mine, because the name that I was born under has a very unique surname, and everybody with that surname is related to me. So I was like, hello, casting director in the 1960s. Distant relative somehow, I guess.
It's really fun.
We also get the music, which is Star Wars. It is Star Wars.
It
it's
is.
crazy how much.
Yeah, this is my favorite bit.
Yeah,
this is
it's
Star Wars
crazy
movie.
how much the original Star Wars trilogy is just like these World War II movies in space. And like, I've heard that before, but hearing it now, it's just like you get the kind of Rebel Alliance theme as we see the British
It's like
forces
almost
in North
unmistakable.
Africa. Yeah, it's so good.
When we do the Dam Busters for war season, then we will get like 100% like that's X-Wing stuff. But like this, John Williams, you thieving bitch. The theme from this movie is just the Imperial March. It just is.
Yes, it is.
Well, like bar for bar, word for word. But so we begin in the city of Tobruk in Libya, which is sort of perennially being besieged by the Nazis. It's like occupied by the British, but the Nazis are going to surround it.
There's like a woman with huge tits and a toga saying like, "We are fucking under attack, my lord."
That's right.
Because Tobruk is being attacked by the Nazis again.
Speaking of women, because we're trying to load a bunch of nurses onto a ship out when a bomb hits, and two of our nurses sort of like duck and cover, and obviously both astoundingly beautiful because this is the 1960s film industry. One of them is Sylvia Sims, who I have 1960s, 1940s woman dysphoria.
I wrote the same note. Which one does she play, Murdoch or Norton?
Norton.
Murdoch.
Murdoch. Fuck.
Oh, wow.
God damn it. I did not get names. We will pull this in a second.
Yeah, that's why I always sit here with the IMDb open.
The one who survives or not?
Sister Diana Murdoch is Sylvia Sims.
Okay, cool. These women are like astoundingly fucking beautiful. Also, Murdoch, I think the one who survives, looks almost exactly like my sister-in-law, which is like very weird, and it made me instantly be like, oh man.
Damn, is your sister-in-law single? Like,
no, she's married to my brother.
That would make sense actually.
That's a weird thing to say. That's my relative. But yeah, it made me very instantly like hope she survived. I was like, oh no, Laura, watch out for the Nazis.
But so we then cut to John Mills, Captain Anson.
John Mills. This is full of people I love to see. This is full of 1960s guys I love to see.
Yeah. This guy is so wrinkled. He looks like a ball bag, and I mean that complimentary style. Like he's so. My man has been out in this. He's so drunk. He's the drunkest anyone's ever been to.
Absolutely,
he's been drinking.
Believable as someone who has been in a desert war for like a couple of years, all the time.
He is not thriving. He is not moisturized, and he is not in his lane.
No, he's dusty. He's drunk. He's drinking a lot.
Yeah.
Failing, desiccated, outside of his lane.
Yeah, we see that he has this like footlocker full of bottles of alcohol, right, which is marked with his name and like personal. So like he has a real like alcoholic's stash going on.
What I love as well is that he's not playing like alcoholic in the way that, you know, an alcoholic detective in a movie might be like, you just see him like looking sad and drinking a drink. He's playing it like he's fucking slushed. He's like,
he is drunk.
This is the thing here, Commander. The Nazis are coming. It's like sad, but also like a little bit funny.
Not a drunk who's having a good time himself either.
No, God, no.
But there's one other officer with him, Captain Crosby, who is like younger, cleaner cut, and they're kind of discussing that they're going to have to evacuate Tobruk, and they know one of them is going to get stuck behind to get besieged and presumably captured by the Nazis for the rest of the war, right? And Crosby kind of cynically is like, well, I was in the last siege, so they'll probably put me in this one. And
they won't put me in the siege too.
Yeah, and Anson promises that he's like, no, I'll do it. I will get you out of it, right?
It's my turn to be captured by the Nazis.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be besieged.
By the way, these captains are in charge of ambulances, a fleet of ambulances, war ambulances.
Yeah.
Which my real granny was an ambulance driver in the war, in the UK, not in North Africa. But again, I was instantly attached to these people. I'm like, oh shit, you drive ambulances? That's what my granny did.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So he goes to get briefed by the brigadier, who is in the bath when he's briefing him. They're being bombed the whole time. Sort of like bits of ceiling are coming down, and this guy's just in the bathtub.
And Anson is this guy in the bathtub is just like totally chill. He's like, bloody fucking bombs. They blew up my car this morning. And Anson's like fucking sweating and looking at a bottle of booze like, terrified, shit, man, I don't like being bombed.
Yeah, he's sort of like, obviously holding on by his fingernails, to the point that the brigadier, getting out of the bath, offers him a drink, right? Because he's getting the shakes, like, genuinely.
Yeah.
And this brigadier, who's like briefing him half naked, like Order Wingate, is like, okay, you're gonna take these ambulances and these 2 spare nurses who couldn't make the boat because the bomb landed on the thing. You're gonna take like 1 ambulance with these nurses, and you're gonna drive like hell for Alexandria in Egypt, like the British sort of like main sort of like supply center in the North African campaign.
We're gonna get the hell out of Dodge. And Alexandria is like the getting my cardinal, like, easternmost point of this war, right? That's where the Brits are holed up. They can't possibly get close to that, right?
And Anson does ask that he be allowed to stay and that Paul Crosby get to go in his stead. And the brigadier is just like, no. And in fact, Crosby predicts the exact rationale, because the brigadier's like, well, he was in the last one. Probably be good at it by now.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
He probably knows how to deal with it.
Yeah. And I do like that, just as a bit of sort of, I guess, showing and telling that, like, everybody here knows how the army is going to, like, rat fuck you, right?
Yeah, we know what the score is, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anson requests that the captain tell Crosby personally, that, like, not let him break the news.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, yeah.
Again, it's like off-putting that responsibility. He's just like sending it to someone else.
So he goes back to his billet to have another drink, obviously.
Placid. And then we meet Sergeant Major Tom. He's a Sergeant Major, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Machinist Sergeant Major Tom Pugh.
Here's a guy I love to see.
This guy.
Harry Andrews.
He's so
fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah, I
so
genuinely
gentle.
I love this character so much. It's my favorite character in the film.
He knows that his captain, his commanding officer, is absolutely boozed to the gills, and he suggests that he rests in a way that, like, you know, preserves his dignity. Like, we both know what's going on here, but he's like, you know, why don't you lie down for a few hours? So, like, I'll take care of everything. And the note I made here is like, there's no macho bullshit here. This guy is so tender and so kind, and it made me unfavorably compare Pete Hegseth and all of his macho warfighter bullshit to this, like, actual guys who were in a war and actually knew what that was like, and we're like, there's no room for this kind of, like, dick swinging shit. It's like, this is a horrible situation and we're going to help each other. It's beautiful.
Absolutely.
It's really beautiful.
It's really nice.
And he does say to him, as he's sort of like very gently taking the alcohol away from him, you've had just about enough, sir, of everything.
Which is like, it's really good. Like, he just lets his, like, eyes fall on the bottle, and he's like, of that? And the guy goes, no, of everything. You've just had too much.
It's very intimate, it's very pitying, but it's very loving. And it's also like, I think the thing that anyone who's been in any kind of, like, hierarchical organization knows, particularly the army, right, is that, like, a decent part of being a good NCO, a good senior NCO, as this guy is managing your officers, right? So, like, the people who are ostensibly your boss, you need to sort of support them through this stuff as well. And sometimes more than you ought to, but in this case it is like putting him to bed in a way that is just like, it's really touching, you know?
I love it. Yeah. The next morning, everyone's getting ready to set off, and we see that Paul is really bitter about this. They say, right, well, we'll see you after the siege, Paul. And he goes, I doubt it. And then just as Anson's about to drive off, he just goes, you right bastard, with such fucking venom.
Did you catch that he waits until the engine's running so he isn't going to be overheard calling him that?
Yeah,
I did. Yeah.
It's that last possible second.
We don't see Paul again. They don't get a moment of reconciliation. That's it. He's done in the movie. Like,
he is going to either get killed or get captured, and then he's going to be in a prison camp for the rest of the war. Like, that's just the kind of facts of it. But so they pick up the 2 nurses who, as we have mentioned, astonishingly beautiful. And also, but like, Anson's main preoccupation is loading his footlocker full of booze in, because he needs it. You know, he is thoroughly addicted to it.
And these 2 nurses, Sister Norton and Sister Murdoch. Sister Norton is the junior one, and we learn that they missed their boat because when the bomb dropped, Norton panicked and ran away. And she's very panicky. She's fucking traumatized. She doesn't like when people try and bomb her. And Murdoch is quite sort of protective of her.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Pretty nice.
They got to drop the skincare routine as well, because these women look like this in the desert.
I
Are you
know.
fucking kidding me? I can't look like that in the middle of a city with more moisturizer than like fucking soft mick. Like, come on.
I say, chaps, sorry to interrupt this message, but that's as much as you can get a hold of. If you want to hear the rest of this episode of Kill James Bond, you better head on over to patreon.com/killjamesbond, all one word, and sign up today for as little as £5 a month, which in at £5 a month to me, that's quite a lot of money, but to you, that's not so much anymore because of inflation.